Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul.
Along with my co-host Paul Mack.
I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Ball Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. Mr. Paul Mack, the usual. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute, bro, and it's April Fool's Day, and this is not a joke. This is not a test. We are back. We are back.
We are back, man. I have got around to Houston, and the Magic are wrapping up their season. So I caught a couple of home games here and talk about those, and yeah, man, and, just wind down the basketball season. Baseball's kicking off. A lot of people are excited about that. NCAA has its Final Four contestants, so we'll dive into that. But April seemed to be March going into April. It seemed to be a big, busy sports month.
March flew by, bro. Like, February is the shortest month of the year, and I feel like that month just dragged on. Like February, I felt like it just lasted forever, and March was just over in a flash. So here we are, April. NBA season's winding down. We've got the NFL draft coming up. Football's in the air, and it's nice. Baseball's in full swing. So we're here, man.
Absolutely, man. Good to be back. Like I said, just. We ain't been out there for a while, but like I said, we're back, and we're going to start talking about some of these topics because there's a lot about to start happening here with the playoffs and drafts. So we'll get back into the swing of things. So NCAA Final Four consists of these four teams: Auburn, Florida, Duke, and Houston. So this coming Saturday, Auburn will play against Florida, and then Duke will play against Houston. And then we'll go to the championship game for Monday evening. This is located in San Antonio, so everybody's talking about San Antonio. This is actually the first time since 2008, back in San Antonio, actually, where all four number one seeds made it to the Final Four. Paul, your thoughts about the Final Four so far and the teams and how they got there?
I did make a bracket this year. Started off strong. I always forget about the whole 4-11 matchup or whatever it is. I always forget about how that's just the biggest upset bracket, and I always forget that. And that got me again this year. But I got 3 out of the 4 in the Final Four though. I did get Houston, Florida, and Duke. And I do have Duke versus Florida in the national championship. So I think I'm 82, 83% on my bracket, but, it is what it is. At the end of the day, my Final Four was almost 100% correct. The road to get there doesn't really matter. But, yeah, man, I mean, March for college is great, dude. It's so good. In the weekends, I typically work, Fridays and Saturdays, and it's just nice having, basketball on all day. It's something to kind of keep tabs on throughout the day. So that's fun, but, it's going to be sad when it's over, and see how many of these kids make a name for themselves and improve their draft stock, and what that does for the future. Because I feel like it's been a minute since we've had a really big draft class come out in college in the men's side, like where more than just one name, and obviously, Cooper Flag is in all the headlines. But Clayton for Florida's made a huge name for himself. So I mean, I personally, I don't know about you, but I do have Florida winning the national championship. I don't know who you have going on, but yeah, man, just got the Gators taking it home. So we'll see what happens this weekend and see how we get there.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I got Florida winning it all too, and I was 1 out of 4 out of my bracket. Duke right now is playing like they're the best team. Their path, they just seem most dominant. They handled Mount St. Mary, really did a thing on Baylor. Arizona was really like their only close game, and then they dominate Alabama. So they look pretty good. Florida path to get here, but a lot of people thought Florida should have had the bracket that Duke had. The Florida team was a little bit tough, and Florida had 2 comeback wins, one against UConn and then the one against Texas Tech. So I've been on pins and needles, and I told Kevin's been on my case, man. Listen, I'm a Gator fan through and through, but I can admit I have not really watched them that much this year as far as like basketball-wise. But I kept my tabs on them. I try to make sure that I follow up on them a little bit because Kevin was telling me, like, this team is really good, man. This team could be special. This team could be special. So he was in my ear about, watch them. So there's a few games I did watch them during the year, and they look really good, man. Like the one kid, Walter Clayton Jr., he's from Lake Wells, Florida. He's from Polk County. So dude is having a hell of a year. I'm in the running for Naismith Player of the Year. And I checked his draft stock earlier, Paul. Like his draft stock was like low second round. And I would like to think that after this tournament, it's going to increase. Yeah. And
college basketball has just been weird the last few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it sounds like this where these tourneys do matter. This is where some of your stock play, because these are high pressure moments. You don't have this in NBA. NBA, you always going to get the best team that wins 4 times. Like you can have one of these games where someone get hot in the NBA playoffs and finals and all that, but you still got to go back and beat that team 3 more times. So this is the case where this is clutch moments, man. So this dude has really been hitting big shots. And those 2 3-pointers that he had against Texas Tech, man, was like bone breaking, man. For the opponents, of course. But no, the kid just got it. I think he gives me a little bit of Jameer Nelson vibes a little bit. I know someone tried to compare him a little bit, Darren Williams. I'm not going to go there, and even he said this, I'm not Steph Curry, whatnot. But Duke's coming, bro. Duke got all these young cats, and they got the best player pretty much in college basketball that is with this stacked team that they're playing with. So Duke is not going to be easy. But I really think it is going to be Duke and Florida.
I mean, Houston's good too, but yeah, I think Duke is they're playing like the best team right now.
They are, man, and it's really so fun to watch. I know everybody's been griping about, well, the Nils messing up this whole college basketball because we got 4 number 1 seeds. So I guess I'm gonna ask you this, Paul: how come it's not fair for a player to get paid much as he can and get out of these advertisement deals and take care of themselves, but coaches can also make a name of themselves during this tournament after they're still playing and getting other jobs? So how's it fair for a player not to get paid and then the coach also boost their resume and move up? That's not fair. So why are we talking to like it's just the way to judge that is foolish, man. Like at the end of the day, like if you want to go where the most money is, like the girl that's from Notre Dame, she's gonna forego and actually play another year and transfer and go to the transfer portal. Like she's gonna stay there because the NBA rookie scale contract versus what she would get paid to stay in the NCAA and the NIL money.
Yeah.
Until the WNBA restructure their salary cap and their pay structures. I don't blame this girl for staying 1 more year and get paid some more.
Yeah, and I think too, like it doesn't hurt you. I think, and hopefully that's kind of the what we see more with NIL is like these kids staying in college a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have to make the jump as fast as they had to before for whatever reason. You know what I mean? But because the last thing you need is there's so many people that like the one and done rule or whatever. Like as silly as that is, you know what I mean? At least the NFL, you have to go for a few years before you can turn pro. You know what I'm saying? So like at least you're a little more built for the pros. But like to go to college for a year and then just jump ship is just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like why not just let them go out of high school? Like they're not getting an education. They're not getting anything. They're not getting anything. They're still playing against kids. Like you were better off going the G League Ignite route or play overseas because at least then you're playing with grown-ups. But now with NIL, you can go to college, you can make a name for yourself, you can get paid, you can make some money. Like, hey man, keep the kids in school because hopefully we have a lot of these kids now where if something happens and their career doesn't work out, at least they can potentially get a degree of some kind in 3 years or whatever it is,
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that because even Cooper Flag came out like a month ago and saying that he's considering staying one more year. I don't know if that's – I mean, listen, the kid is having fun in college. He's a 19-year-old kid who wants to enjoy a little bit of college life. Duke is probably a fun university to go to, so why not stay for another year if they're going to pay you real well on nil money? I mean, obviously, he's coming out this year. If he was to come out this year, he's declared to come out this year. He's the consistent number 1 draft pick. He's been talked about for the whole year. The reason the slogan "Capture the Flag" has been popular. He's the guy that they're tanking for, and he's the real deal. From watching him play this year, and a lot of teams are gearing up to get that type of talent, and I don't blame him. So it'll be interesting to see how he boasted his resume in this final, but to do what he's doing this and leading this team as a freshman, and he rolled his ankle not too long ago before the tournament, and he's still doing this at a high level. Like Cooper Flag is the real deal, man. So
yeah, very very rarely do you see someone like live up to that hype, like coming out of high school. Like he's just been that guy, and like he's interesting too because like he's an all around kind of guy. Like he's not putting up crazy points on offense. He plays defense. Like he gets some dunks on people in the open court. Like he passes really really well. So like he's one of those guys. Like he can literally be a potential franchise changing prospect just based off his freshman season at Duke. So just getting the exposure in the tournament. Obviously, if they make it to the national championship, and then obviously if they somehow pull off a national championship, it's just story writes itself, I guess. But you have one of those Carmelo Anthony type college freshman seasons where you just kind of ride through the wave. You're the number 1 guy. You take your team, you win a championship, and then you just get out and go to the pros. It's why we watch March Madness. I think we, does it stink a little bit that like all the number 1 seeds are still standing? Like, does that? I mean, you kind of want the Cinderella team to be in there, but I'm here to watch the big dogs eat. So, that's
right. And then expect that, Paul. I mean, with the 4 number 1s there, I'm expecting elite basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting these games to be pretty close. So I'm not expecting no blowouts. When these underdog stories, their story can only last so long that they get there and then they get smashed by one of these teams, man. So now that we got number 1 basketball, as a basketball purist, this is what you should be asking for. You get the best teams in there. Hey, they did what they had to do, amid adversity, some of these teams, and advance. Houston has some adversity, so did Auburn. So it's going to be fun to watch, see how these teams respond against who's supposed to be the favorite between Florida and Duke. So let's go, man. Should be a good one. All right. So Boston, the Celtics, they finished on franchise history, 6-0 road trip. So that was the first time they went 6-0 on that road trip from franchise history. From what I read, they actually on this legendary run that they're 9-1 in their last 10 and
like 14-1. were they like 14-1 or something like that last month?
Yeah. This is insane. So, 4 games behind them they're 4 games behind the Cavs. The Cavs are like just kind of struggling a little bit going into this like postseason run. They're like 5-5 in their last 4. So, I mean, if you're Boston, is it really worth for them to chase home court advantage, or should they just say, hey, we're the second seed. Let's get these guys some rest. What's your thoughts on this? How they should approach this?
I think if it's obtainable, I think you want the 1 because then you get that, the road to the championship's a little easier on you, I guess. But I mean, it's like the Macho Man Randy Savage used to say, man, the cream always rises to the top, bro. Like Cleveland's been that team all year. As the season's gone on, they've struggled against the West. So like as the season's gone on, like the Western Conference teams are getting better. Like even the teams that are, 6, 7, 8 in the West are still far better than the bottom half of the East. So, it's just it was inevitable for them to drop some games, and Boston, they're built for this time of year. This is the time of year where they manage their guys really well. They had the privilege of they win a lot of games big. So, I mean, their guys get a lot of rest anyway. I mean, there was a point where I feel like they were winning every game by 20. And, I mean, most of their guys weren't playing in the fourth quarter. So, like, they're getting their rest. They're not playing huge minutes. They're a really deep team. I mean, they run a huge rotation anyway. So, like, that's the scary part is, like, the way Boston is right now. Like with their rotation, with their different units that they have. With you got Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench, you got Sam Hauser, you got all these guys that come off the bench for them, and they don't skip a beat. They could all shoot. They all got the green light anytime they're on the floor, and it's just scary, man, because that's not a team you want to get hot right now. Closing the season out, because if they get hot now, they're going to ride that momentum through the rest of the season. God forbid Cleveland drops some games, they catch Cleveland. Then we're basically in the same boat we were last year, where just they're the one, they're going to get home court. We know how good they are on their home floor, and the fact that they're winning games on the road, which may have been like an Achilles heel kind of for them previously. The fact that they're out there winning on the road, regardless of who they're playing, it's just. They've just gotten better as the season's gone on. Like Cleveland came out the gates hot. Cleveland came out the gates like we ain't seen in years.
Yeah, they got like a head start, man.
and it's just one of those where it sucks for Cleveland, but I think everyone was kind of waiting for this moment when they start dropping games.
Yeah,
that's all it was. Everybody's just no one's giving them credit for winning, but the moment they drop 3 in a row out west, it's like, what's wrong with Cleveland?
Mm-hmm.
They have 17 losses? Like, you know what I mean?
Still very impressive for sure.
Like, what are we doing? But it's 9-1 in their last 10. Cleveland's 5-5. Just hopefully Cleveland gets it right, because you don't want to see these two teams kind of go in different directions, because Cleveland is a really good basketball team, but it just seems like size can give them problems. And we saw that last year with Orlando too. I mean, Orlando is a long team with really good perimeter defense. Their guards could rebound, and those are just the kind of teams that can give Cleveland a fit in a 7-game series. So, we'll see where things fall, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston catches them, or even if they want to. I think that I know enough Celtic fans to feel like they can go anywhere, and they can go out on a to the YMCA and they'd be fine. They don't need home court.
Yeah. To add to your point, I really don't think they need home court either. Boston is 32-7 on the road. That is too shy of tying Golden State's record back in the 15 and 16 season. The Warriors was 34-7. So, yeah. I mean, honestly, we have seen they do this on the road. They've seen them play on the road well. like even them, like the series split between them and Cleveland is 2-2, and so 2 of those games I know Boston was missing key players and the games were close. But I did like the one fight from Cleveland where they got off to, or Boston got off to a hot start, and of course Jason Tatum became the meme, told him to get out of here, and then the Cavs and they come back and win that game. So honestly, just what they've been doing on the road has been very impressive. But also the Thunder can also tie the Golden State record as well. Mm-hmm. They're 11-0 since the All-Star break. They got 4 games left at home, so you got the potential for the Thunder and the Celtics to tie this Warriors mark that was set back in 2015 and 2016. That's freaking impressive, man. Both of these teams have had potential to do that. So to me, I don't think Boston need to catch Cleveland. I feel like they can steal a few in Cleveland in the playoff if this is where they end up. If this end up being the matchup, I feel like that Boston can do enough to get on the road. And I think they're serving their guys because a couple of times Drew Holiday didn't play. Derek White didn't play in one game. Jaylen Brown didn't play in one game. Porzingis missed a few games. So they really just like you said, resting up their stars until they get there into the postseason. So it's just going to be fun to see how this play out. Was it worth it? Will you come back to this conversation like, man, Boston really had a chance to catch them. They could have had that one extra game in Boston, and they didn't do it. So be fun to see how that recaps there. So what's your thoughts on your Knicks so far? Jalen Brunson's on his way back, ain't he?
He is. He was. He's good for basketball activities. So he's not saying, when he'll be back or whatever, but he's able to resume basketball activities. At this point, take as long as he needs, as long as you have him for the postseason. I'm not too worried about it. We're still in a decent spot. So
I feel like he got
it was a rough, ankle roll he had there. You know what I mean? Like, thank God it was just a high ankle sprain or whatever, because it could have been bad. So
it looked bad, yeah.
It looked real bad. Like, so like I'm glad it's just that, and it's we have enough other problems to worry about. Like, we still really lack depth. So it's just get through the season. And we're still sitting at 3. We're comfy in 3. We're still 3 or 4 games up from 4. So give Brunson as long as he needs. I'd rather him be 110%. I don't need 80% Jalen Brunson. So let the other guys get some run. Figure out what you have. Let Deuce McBride get minutes. Let all these guys get minutes that don't normally play a ton because the rotation is usually so tight. But we're still looking okay. I mean, OG stepping up. Mikal Bridges had some big games. Josh Hart still hustling out there. Mitchell Robinson's easing his way back in. He's becoming kind of back to being our rim protector and our rebounder. You just need the leader. You know what I mean? Once the leader comes back, I wouldn't be as concerned. But for right now, where we're sitting, like I said, you're not going to catch 2, and you're most likely not going to drop to 4. So it's like you're chilling at 3. You're in a comfy little spot. Just get healthy, and figure out the rotation and who's going to play come the postseason. And I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, they're still in a safe spot. I don't think they're going up or falling. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're probably sitting around a situation where if they drop 1, they win 1. They're not really going anywhere. They're not in a situation where there's a log jam in the middle. And if they drop a couple games, they're going to drop like 2 or 3 seeds. Like they're comfortably in 3rd. So just take what you got and just hope that, like I said, Brunson can come back healthy. The rest of the division and the conference doesn't get hot. Like Indiana was playing really, really well lately, so that's scary.
Right.
But again, you got yourself in a good little cushion. So just get right, and hopefully with the extended minutes everybody's getting. Tibbs can really figure out who's going to utilize come the postseason, and you can kind of have, 8 guys instead of like the 7 that he normally runs, have that extra help there. But I'm not worried. I mean, do I think they could make a deep playoff run the way they're built anyway with Brunson? Probably not. Can they? It's just they're not built the same way they were last year when they made that run. Like they're a good team, but they're not a great team. And being good can only kind of get you so far. You really need those bench guys. Like you're gonna see a lot of the elite teams in the league right now have really good benches, man. Boston's got a great bench. Cleveland's got a good bench. OKC's got a good bench.
Yeah, OKC's nice.
So like all these teams got really good benches. The Pacers are pretty deep. So
even Houston got a good bench.
Got a good bench. So all these teams got depth, and the Knicks don't really have the depth. So that's the thing that has always scared me all season. So like again, regular season doesn't really matter to me. Just get healthy so that way you don't have any excuses. I don't want Brunson was hurt, so we XYZ. Like no, let Brunson get 100%. Let him come back. Have no excuses. Have him be 100%. Have Towns be 100%. And then let's just go get it.
Absolutely, my man. So, Magic so far for me, it came off that they had a road trip kind of like near the end of February and kind of start of March. That was pretty strong. They was like 3-2 on the road trip after a horrendous home. Had a 7-game homestand. They went 1-6. The only win they had was against the Wizards. Twice we lost to the Raptors. That was embarrassing. A home game. So, but the beginning of the month, man, what kind of really turned around was that big win against the Cavs on the road, 1:00 game, ABC primetime. I'm over here stressing out because I know the Magic does not play well on national TV, and they handle business, man. So that was a little fun game to watch. Kind of like Tyler Jerome kind of went out back and forth with Paolo and kind of got all started up. They came back too,
right? They were down. They were down in that game, right?
Yeah, it was down big, man. I mean, it was crazy. Just all the intels of that game, man, was crazy. But something clicked with Paolo, and I don't want to say click. I just want to say he probably just got healthy because that oblique tear was just it seemed to be that it gave him a little slow start coming back, and he had the Warner drilling game when he came back from the oblique tear and played well. And it's just the grind of that he just looked slow and just time was off a little bit. So, but player of the week was averaging 30 points a game and 7.5 rebounds a game, 4 assists a game. Third in total points in March with 447 points behind SGA and Luka. So, I mean, this dude hooping, man. His last 21 games, almost 30 points per game. All the analytic nerds that was kind of running their mouth about him, he's been at 59%, like true shooting percentage. So that's an analytic stat for you guys that are criticizing this guy.
Seems like he's back to like being physical.
Yeah.
And that's when he first came back, he was shooting a lot of jumpers. And it seems like now he's comfortable now. He realizes he's going to be bigger than most of the guys guarding him, and he's playing real physical.
His free throw percentage has been really good too. He just passed Nick Vucevic for like 11 all time and like free throws made. So for him to be a third-year player already, passing another legendary, well, now I won't say legendary, but another Magic piece of legend that was part of our team.
We love Vooch, bro. We love Vooch. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we love Vooch. Yeah. He called me a home or whatever it is. But Orlando clinched the play-in, so they're in the Hawks. So I kind of been watching the Hawks play. Portland's up right now, so yes. And so those 2 games in April, I thought about flying out there for one of them, but I just changed my mind. We got to play them like 3 times, so I was like, I ain't gonna go. But the 2 games in April against the Hawks will kind of tell a story who will be the 7-8 seed, because right now the series seasons is split between those two. It's 1-1. So it'll be really interesting to see how this is going to pan out. And then the last home game is against the Celtics. So is the Celtics, are they going to chase the Cavs, or are they going to rest people? So it'll be it's just a lot of things that could be happening here for Orlando's favor. So we're just going to see what's going to happen. But Corey Joseph's been starting, so ever since he's starting, the ball been not sticking as much, been moving around. That just kind of tells the management that you probably need to find a player that can at least handle the ball, make the right correct passes, put your wings in the right spots. Franz has been fantastic. I know he had a rough game last night, but besides that, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists per game for the month of March. Caleb Houston has been a sniper from 3. The last 5 or 6 games, I believe he's shooting like 60% from 3. The dude is not missing, man. And it's just kind of nice to see it all come together, man. They're going to try to get into the postseason, and I'm not the way the season panned out for me to get to the first round, and we match up against the Celtics or the Cavs, and we get one, at least 2 games, cool. But I'm not expecting to beat those teams. But I do want to see, okay, we had a horrible season with injuries. The shooting is still non-existent at times. We're the worst offensive team in the league, at least near the 2 bottoms. So defense is still fantastic. Build off something. Success ain't linear. That's why I try to tell a lot of Magic fans and a lot of people that I interact with about the Orlando Magic is that success is not linear. So it's going to be up and down. You're going to run into some hurdles, such as injuries to our 2 main guys. We still know shooting needs to be addressed. We have known that for the past 3 years. So I'm just looking forward to, hey, just get to the postseason, get Paolo and Franz some more experience and postseason play. Let them go to these freaking tough crowds in Boston or Cleveland on the road, learn from those experiences, deal with that crowd, deal with traveling, deal with matching up against these teams.
Deal with national TV, bro. I mean, they've had how many games now on national TV this year?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've been on like 4. So this is a exposure for Paolo and Franz to grow their brand and help the Magic brand. And then our management needs to go ahead and address some of the deficiencies that is with this team. So looking to see how they close this month. Right now they're in a dogfight with San Antonio, but hope they come out and swing and pull this out here. So we'll see how it goes, man. You know, I've been up and down, and Orlando match has been up and down, but I think we got, for the Magic, we got 2 more home games left, and that's it for the regular season for the Magic. I know baseball or basketball is really close to its end. another season, man. It's about to be on the wrap. So hoping that these boys find ways to play in. And the Bulls are tough. And Miami's been slumping. But at any given time, you know, them guys can get hot in a game. Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, they still got talent you got to respect. So the journey's not over. Do your thing. Win the first game. Get out of it. Like, don't go this to 2 games. Just finish it up and figure your way and knock it out. So, but yeah, we'll see what goes with the Magic, man. So, what's your thoughts about the Grizzlies firing Taylor Jenkins, man? That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting at what, 5 in the West? I mean, they're not terrible. I mean, they've dealt with some injuries. You know, John Morant's been out of the lineup all year, it feels like. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's just weird for a team to make that kind of a change having this kind of a season. Like, they're not in a bad spot. I mean, they're still – I mean, they can – they're only a couple games behind the 4. I mean, they can kind of get hot and make a little run, but it had to be something bigger than we all probably know. I mean, I just feel like maybe there was just a disconnect there.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
I mean, the player. You know how the NBA is, man. Players and coaches. You know, players got a lot of pull, and if there's any kinds of rumblings about something, it's all it takes sometimes. But you don't typically see the 5th seed head coach who, you know, they. I mean, I know they had a lot of expectations coming into the season, but like, I mean, they're 5th in the West, bro. Yeah. They're a really young team. Like, What are you gonna do if that can't keep you your job? I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's
NBA is
definitely
weird, bro. NBA is a different game.
It is, and I will say this: he won't be out of job for long. I just think he's that talented, the coach. But then I saw some there are some swirlings that Ja might be potentially traded. There's some people in the franchise believe that as talented as Ja is, they don't feel like he can be the one to be the leading of them to get where they need to be a championship contender. So I don't know, man. There's just a lot of answer. And then before he got fired, and I'm thinking there's a locker room disconnect because you saw Santi and Desmond Bain get into on the sidelines. And then Desmond Bain came and said, hey, this is really my good friend. It's just, and basketball, sports is sport. You're going to get competitive and get into it with people. But he said Santi was at my wedding, be at his wedding. He's really one of my good friends. And it's the heat of the moment. And he reacted poorly. And he apologized to him. So teammates going to be teammates. But I just maybe was that kind of stuff leading up to it, that stuff's going on in the locker room, that Jenkins didn't having a disconnect, or I'm surprised, man, because I like the way he runs his offense. Defense has always been stout. Memphis has been winning since he's been there, the past 3 or 4 years. I know the job got suspended for everything that he got suspended for, and they kind of had a down year last year, but they're back to where they should be. And in the West, you just never know, man. Listen, besides OKC, there's really no clear favorite. So, you could have made it to the Western Conference Finals with this core. I don't know. You just never know how the dice is going to roll here. It's just such an odd change to make near the end of the season and going into the postseason.
They're in a weird place though, because it does feel like at times that Desmond Bain is the guy. You know what I mean? I know Ja's been in and out, but it just seems like Desmond Bain is a guy that they would rather build around than Ja at this point. Yeah. But again, I imagine a lot of these players, I don't know what Desmond Bain's contract's like. I don't know, all the stuff like that, but I just feel like a lot of these guys want some kind of stability, and to lose your coach now when you're sitting at 44-31 and you let your coach go. So now you got an interim head coach. Which again, that maybe what they need, I guess, to light a little fire under them. I don't know, but it just seems like a wild move when you're in a playoff hunt. Stability at the head coach, I feel like is pretty important. But sometimes you're the five, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you, my man. So, Aaron Rodgers, he's been linked to a few teams, and it seemed like the Steelers, the Vikings, wasn't it one time at the Raiders too? But then it came out that Rodgers and Metcalf had a throwing session, and a lot of people saying that it's leaning like he's going to go to the Steelers. But where do you think this dude ends up at, and what kind of impact will he have?
This again, huh?
Yeah, because he was linked to your franchise too, right?
He was, and I think karma got me because I used to give you shit whenever Russell Wilson was your quarterback in Denver, and then I gave Brad shit when he was the quarterback in Pittsburgh, and now he's the QB1 for my New York Giants. So, whatever.
Yeah,
he's still better than anything we had. So,
true.
Whatever. But for Aaron Rodgers, you saw it in spurts. Last year he can still play as long as you keep him on his feet and you protect him. Give him a good running game. Obviously, Najee Harris is a great running back. Adding DK Metcalf to go with George Pickens. It's huge. The offense is kind of built to where I think Aaron Rodgers can still be productive for them. I think the quarterback position last year was kind of an Achilles heel for the Steelers. I think they just kind of never really solidified a QB. Russell Wilson had a couple good games. They started out with Justin Fields. He got kind of hot. Then they took him out, put Russ in. It was weird for a little bit there. But, the fact that this is always news all the time of where a 40-year-old quarterback is going to play football, I don't know, man. I mean, on that team, with that head coach, with that defense, they're still going to probably make the playoffs. I don't think it necessarily matters who their quarterback is. They're still going to be, 9-8, 10-8, 10-7, whatever it is. Like, they'll still be there, but I just think if you're going to pick between those teams, like I think Pittsburgh probably gives him the best chance to kind of make one more historic run, like with a historic franchise. I feel like if he went to Minnesota, that'd be too much of the Brett Favre route. Like, he's already went to the Jets. He left the Packers, went to the Jets. If he goes to the Vikings, he's just Brett Favre 2.0. And I don't think anybody wants to go play quarterback for the Raiders. So,
True.
Let's see what Brad thinks about potentially having Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. But again, for his age, I mean, he can still play. He can still sling it.
Yeah.
And that's the wild part is coming from the Achilles. Like I said, he had a up and down season last year, but like his highs looked really good. But then obviously like his lows were pretty bad. And I just don't know if that's a Jets thing, if the Jets just made him look that bad. But they never really got going last year, and I don't think that's much of like a Aaron Rodgers problem as it was just a personnel problem. I think that the Steelers potentially have better offensive personnel. So, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, he'd obviously go in and be the starter off rip probably, which is crazy. But, yeah, we're just here again, man. NFL Aaron Rodgers offseason.
Aaron Rodgers offseason. I mean, his stats ain't terrible. 63% completion rate. Threw for 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Had a QBR of a 90.5. It's not terrible. I mean, the Jets wasn't bad. And like you said, the Steelers is we talk about Steelers every year. Like they feel like they get moving, they play and they be competitive. Then they had this slump where they had out a great start and then they're a guaranteed first round exit. But like you said, with that defense and somewhat of a competent quarterback, and you add DK Metcalf, and typically Steelers can draft pretty well. Have a good draft here, man, and we're talking about them a little bit different next year.
It's just hard because like the rest of the division is still so good. You know what I mean? So it's like, are you making the moves to where you're, up to snuff with Cincinnati, who had a lot of injuries last year. They were beat up pretty bad, so they'll come back full strength this year. Hopefully their defense gets better. They had literally no defense, and then we've seen Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore is cream of the crop on both sides of the football. So it's just like I said, does Aaron Rodgers put you in a position to where you can compete? Because that's going to be a big chunk of it. Is obviously your division. Their division's tough. They could potentially get 6 losses out of the division. So like as long as you have a competent quarterback who can take care of the ball, isn't going to put you in a hole. Won a Super Bowl, won MVPs. It's still better than anything you've kind of had since Ben Roethlisberger. So, there's that. But at the end of the day, they're still probably the third best team in that division when it all plays out. If the Bengals play to par with as good as we think the Bengals are, the Bengals are the Bengals. They're the third best team in the AFC North, regardless of who their quarterback is.
Good stuff, man. So we'll see how that works out. Another NFL topic. You kind of saw this and kind of want to. We'll stay in the NFC North. So one co-owner, Haslam, believes that the Browns took a swing and a miss with Deshaun Waston. This is a guy that went on a second operation on his right Achilles tendon in January after returning his Achilles. Potentially he will miss significant time to start the 25 season. Thoughts on this? Should the Browns draft a QB? Because they got the second overall pick in the 2024 2025 draft. The only quarterback that they have right now on the roster is Deshaun Waston and Kenny Pickett. And Kenny Pickett was pretty much said that he's going to get a chance to get the starting job for the time being. So thoughts on this whole scenario. What should the Browns do with that second pick? And do you believe is a swing and miss with Deshaun Watson?
I mean, I don't even know if like that it's like that like the Looney Tunes like thing where like they're like playing baseball and just like 1, 2, 3, you're out, 1, 2, 3. They're just swinging and they just can't hit it. Like that's just seems to be the Browns with quarterbacks anyway. But like taking the swing that they did to get Deshaun Watson, offering the contract that they offered him, all that guaranteed money, all that
so
stuff.
Let Baker go too.
Letting Baker go and look at Baker right now in Tampa Bay. Like, I mean, I would assume coming from 2 torn Achilles, like that guy's career is gonna be pretty much over. Like he's not gonna be as dynamic as he used to be. But that's the quarterback position, though, right? Like we pay these people for, typically small sample sizes, and we think about what they can be, what their ceiling is, and sometimes they don't pan out, man. And for whatever reason, Cleveland just can't get it right. And as we've seen before, these guys tend to leave and do well in other places. So I don't know what it is. But if I have the number 2 pick, like I'm probably going to take a quarterback. I mean, you got some pretty decent quarterbacks coming out. So I mean, depending on who would go number 1, I would take a Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any. There's never a safe bet or a safe pick in sports, but I would like to think that any of these quarterbacks coming out are probably better than Kenny Pickett. No shade to Kenny Pickett, but I don't think if Kenny Pickett is my starting quarterback, I'm going to make any noise. So why not just let Pickett be your starter, draft a guy, get him ready to go, and depending on how your season goes, like you don't got to throw him in there right away. You can kind of do it the proper way, like let the season kind of unravel, and then you can just kind of throw him in halfway through and just see what he's got. But Browns fucking suck, dude. I don't know, bro. Like you feel bad. You feel bad sometimes, but like there's something in the water in Cleveland, and I don't know what it is, but yikes.
Yeah, man. And for them, I saw that they're considering going defense with the second round draft pick. You just got done paying Myles Garrett that historical contract, which he had a trade request, and you pay him that much money. He's like, oh, never mind, I'll stay. I want to win.
Yeah.
I got paid. Okay.
Money talks, baby.
Yeah, money does talk, apparently. So, but yeah, I mean, why not get a quarterback on a rookie scale contract? He pans out, let him sit, watch a little bit. If Cam Pitt's got to be the guy because he have a little bit of NFL experience, go forward, and this is a decent draft to get a quarterback, so why not? But I don't. Yeah, the Browns got some decisions to make, man, and I get it. Like they try to get Deshaun Watson to see that he had an injury, so you just try to see what it will stick and what will happen. But yeah, this is a guy who, 7 games that he played last year, 63% completion percentage, and had a 79 quarterback rating. And I don't know the direction that they should take, but I think they should go with a quarterback because it's brutal on that end over there. So I didn't really prepare for who's invited to a barbecue skit thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass that. If I will give one, I'm just gonna give it to Paolo because Paolo got player of the week and he deserves that. So
he's that dude right now.
He's the man right now. So do a quick kind of that. If I was to get someone for him on the grill, he's a probably a roast beef type of guy. Some potatoes, Some cornbread, some white rice, some onions and carrots and that. You know, I gotta make sure I take my guy, man. I can't be feeling no bull crap, man. So
that's true. You gotta keep him. Gotta keep him right because he's carrying y'all right now.
That's the magic, man. So I listen. You know, get that man some protein with some veggies, and then we gonna have some sparkling water too. He ain't drinking. That's my star player. He ain't drinking. I'm gonna drink Tito's. He can have some nice sparkling.
He's that dude on social media who's pouring the sparkling water in the bowl of ice and just dunking his face in it. He's that guy.
He's that guy. He's dedication to the game, baby. That's Paolo Banchero. So that's my quick invite to the bar. I don't know if you have one, but if you do,
I don't. But like just to kind of talk about what we've done on our little hiatus. I recently started getting back into collecting sports cards. So I've been kind of going on like eBay and there's this app called Whatnot where people kind of like auction off cards or whatever. And I'm very particular about the cards that I want. So I picked up a lot of like, rookie cards of guys I think that'll have really good second seasons, some NBA guys. But I snagged a couple Paolo Banchero rookie cards. So I'm going to need my man to work his way up. You know, Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Need to see him eventually maybe get an MVP one day. And, buy low, sell high, baby. So
there you go.
This is prospecting at its finest. I got a bunch of Malik Neighbors rookie cards, hoping that Russell Wilson can, elevate him to where we thought he should be last year. Yep. But, it's fun, man. It's fun to kind of get back into a little hobby that's not super expensive. You can get a lot of these cards for a couple dollars. And it's just like, just sit on them, hold on them, and just worst case scenario, if they don't pan out, I'm only out a couple bucks, but it's fun.
Sound, baby.
It is fun, bro. So I got some Paulo rookies. I'm trying to hunt I want to get a Franz rookie. They're really hard to find though. There's not a lot of them that people are selling for cheap.
No?
I mean, not as cheap as you can get them, you know what I mean? But yeah. I'm looking. I'm kind of keeping my eyes. I'm prospecting a little bit, but a lot of this stuff will come in over the next few days. So whenever we record, I'll be able to show off my little collection I'm starting. But I'm trying to find some Cade Cunninghams. I'm trying to get some, I'm trying to find some stuff for real cheap because I know Stephon Castle, with Wemby going down, Stephon Castle is probably going to be Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
So it's just trying to it's fun because it gets you kind of watching people and you're kind of just banking on their future a little bit. So it's been fun. So that's kind of where I'm at. So like, I'm being more positive. No one really stinks this week. Just everybody should get a hobby. Touch grass, have a good time.
Absolutely, man. So invited to the barbecue. Paul had this guy stinks segment, so that's what I'm talking about, man. Before we close it up, let's talk about a few NFL changes. You want to talk about the overtime rule? Kind of break that down, Paul?
Yeah. So now, obviously, in the postseason last year, we saw both teams got a possession in overtime. They're just extending that to the regular season now. So now, even if you make a touchdown in the first drive of the overtime, like the other team will get a chance, and then overtime will be a 10-minute period. So sudden death situation, but like obviously. My team will have a chance to score, so there going to be no more one and dones, and potentially some more ties. I don't know how it's going to work out. You know what I mean? But it's an interesting play. Making the game potentially longer. Obviously, there was a lot of blowback when they extended the season an extra game. But like potentially having games go an extra 10 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes in football time is an eternity. Obviously, it's great for ad revenue, more commercials. So I guess the NFL wins there, but it's the regular season. I think they were fine just keeping it as a postseason thing for the playoffs, but we're gonna get extra football now going forward. So we'll see how that goes.
Make it fair. And then I was going to talk about the tush push, but then I read an article that they're going to push the vote back another month. Apparently, I heard that it got passed, the Green Bay Packers proposed the tush push, the ban it. Me personally, I don't think they should ban it. If you can't stop it, defend it, perfect it, learn it. That's all about NFL, man. That's all about sports. You got to find a way to gain a competitive advantage in a competitive way. As long as that's breaking the rules, I don't see anything wrong with the way they do it. You got those Goliath of an offensive line. Well, guess what? Draft better offensive linemen.
Yeah, we have the biggest offensive line like in the history of football. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts has got a good size on for a quarterback. So if you can't stop it, why are we trying to ban this? Which I think is foolish. So I'm glad they pushed this another month. So I saw they passed. I'm like, I'm not an Eagles fan, and that kind of sucks.
While you're on the subject of copycat leagues and different stuff, have you seen the torpedo bat scandal kind of going on in the MLB right now?
I heard that. Talk to the people.
The Yankees over the course of like 2 games scored like 30 runs. They basically they had these new bats. So I guess they used analytics and some other stuff to kind of tweak the shape of the bat. Apparently there were some players that used them last year, but it wasn't a whole bunch. But apparently the entire Yankees team is using them now. They kind of like made the bat a little more narrow, and they moved the sweet spot closer to the handle a little bit because they realized a lot of their guys are getting jammed. A lot of their guys are kind of missing the middle of the bat. So they manipulated the bat to kind of cater to how their guys swing. And it's really taken off, man. They're scoring a lot of runs, but it's getting a lot of blowback. And I was talking to my friends today, and we were just kind of talking about like in 2025 with technology and stuff like that, like this should be a thing. Like I feel like we should be able to make bats based off of people's archetypes and swing types and all this stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like pro golfers are custom fitted for golf clubs. Like they know they're fitted for, the kind of shallowness of their swing or where they don't hit the ball at, what their issue is, slice, draw, whatever. Like why I don't, because my thing is everyone can do it, but because it's the Yankees, and again, I fucking hate the Yankees. I'm not a pick for the Yankees. Because the Yankees do it, it's like big time news. But like, it's like Moneyball all over again, bro. Like analytics are gonna dominate sports going forward. It's why basketball is the way it is. It's why football is the way it is. Why the tush push is even a problem, because if something works 99% of the time, I'm gonna use it 99% of the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if I can get a bunch of guys, if I build a team of a bunch of guys who get on base, I'm going to score runs. It's just the way the world works. If I do all these things, so like why not pay someone, some MIT brainiac or whatever, like if he figures it out, like, hey, look, if we could just shift the sweet spot of the bat a little closer to the handle, we're going to hit a lot of balls hard. They're not corking it. They're not doing anything illegal. It's the same bat. They just move the sweet spot a little bit, and it kind of changes the shape of the bat. So the bats look kind of weird. Like it does look a little suspect, but you know how it is, man. Baseball is a very historic game, and once you start kind of changing shit in baseball, people are going to get wild. So it's going to be an interesting season to see kind of where these torpedo bats, take the Yankees and how many other players and teams kind of, start using them. But, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like I said, use that shit to your advantage, bro. If numbers don't lie. If I have a guy and he's consistently just hitting the ball off his hands, no matter what, like, fuck it, put the sweet spot closer to his hands. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm not really a baseball guy, but if you get the data, and the data tells you, where you are best at, why not follow the data? And it's for everybody to take. If the Yankees doing it, well, go ahead and hop on board, Boston.
Because you have a lot of guys. It's similar with like
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
All these other teams like Milwaukee Brewers, I hop on this. They just started to move.
It's similar with anything, bro. Like, if you start changing the way you hit, that ruins guys' careers. You start changing your batting stance, changing where you stand in the batter's box, how close you are to the plate. But if I could make your equipment cater to the way you already play, that's just technology working in your favor, bro. We live in a technologically advanced world, and just I just wish it wasn't the Yankees that figured it out, I guess. But here we are.
The same thing over basketball. You got a release point, and you get enough data where your release point where you're going to hit the most shots, and you can do that within the feet range of it, and you teach that certain player, this is the release point where you're making your most shots. Do it. With football, you throw better on a run on the left side versus the right side. Your throwing percentage is better on the right side when you scramble and throwing to the right to the left. Then throw out some more plays where you got somebody, the receivers going to the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Yankees ain't doing anything wrong.
No,
I'm not the biggest
baseball purists. Baseball purists are going to think otherwise, but it's 2025, and chicks dig the long ball. So if I get more home runs, I'm just taking the Yankees over on runs every day.
That's it. Hey, listen, I don't want people. I'm taking the Yankees over on runs. Shoot. I saw the one game they hit like 6 home runs. Like,
yeah, bro. They scored like 33 runs or some shit in 2 days. It was crazy.
Ridiculous, man. All right, let's close this bad boy up. Promise, guys, me and Paul be back at it. It's just been crazy on Mondays. I was in Houston in the last 2 Monday games, had a Lakers game, and then the Clippers played last night. So I just been a lot of basketball to get in around here, but we'll be back at it. So just make sure y'all stay tuned for us, man.
Only a few more home games from my guy over here,
That's right, man. Might release a tear, and I got to find a hobby to do in summer again. I'm hitting the hills in the heat, so maybe I slim down over the summer, work on my bod, work on my dad bod. I don't know. You can follow the podcast. Oh, by the way, before I get into all that, I didn't tell you, Paul. I'm working on getting some podcast merch. I'm working on getting some hats, but I'm having to back and forth with the company because I want the font to look the way it is in our logo, and they're changing it because it's embroidered. I'm like, no, just screen print it. I don't want that. So I got to get a hold of them. I'm working on getting some hats.
Hey, hats.
Yes. Need to work on some polos, but they're like, we don't have that font. Like, I need that font. You do every night. I need the font. And the font is what make the logo. So I need that font. I don't need to change it up. Like, no. So going back and forth, see if they can do, instead of doing embroidery, I'm see if they can do screen printing and see if they can get the logo like it is. So I got to call them tomorrow.
Yeah, y'all might be getting some Christmas presents real soon.
That's right. So follow us at BLC Podcast. You get the Twitter on Twitter X. We're at BLC Podcast. Mr. Mac, tell people where you at, sir.
Yeah, man. I'm on X at _Paul_Mac and on Instagram at ThePaulMac520.
Absolutely. You can find me at Andamine CP. Also the guy who made it on TV again during the Houston Magic game. Look in the press.
TV Tez over here, bro. I tell you.
TV Tez, or as my boy Nick Ikes like to call me, Comcast Cortez strike again. So,
wild, bro.
This is funny, dude. You get the podcast also on Instagram at BLC Podcast, TikTok BLC Podcast, YouTube BLC Podcast, Facebook Balls Not Court Podcast. Give us a like, comment, shout there. We're also on radio.fm, so you can check us out on internet radio. Listen to our few episodes the last few weeks. Appreciate you. New content will be on the way this week. So you can also get us on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, wherever you heard before. We're literally everywhere. We're not on that platform. Please let me know. I'm trying my best to get us on iHeartRadio. It's just their email department is just really slow. So I don't know. Working on it, but anything else, Paul, before we close this bad boy?
No, man, I gotta go hop on 2K because I got drafted by the Magic and I got put in the starting lineup and I got a little beef with Franz, so I gotta go work that out.
Oh, so you playing wing?
Yeah, he complained that he don't get the ball as much when him and I are on the floor together. So I gotta go. They want me to try to make it right, but I'm just gonna demand a trade.
Oh, that's funny. You and Franz getting into it, man. I thought Franz was a team guy. Apparently
I thought so too. Maybe I gotta make the quarters longer. I think I'm only playing like 6-minute quarters, so like it's a sim. So it's like, whatever. But like if I'm open, I'm shooting it, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, and Orlando needs shooting, so
that's what I'm saying. I'm giving you everything you need.
Exactly. So
I'm dropping 22 a game as a rookie.
There you go. I done got back and dust off my old watch skills. I've been playing old watch again. They done did all these new things with the little perks. So I've been kind of playing that. Yeah, they like whenever you play and you get on a certain kills, you add like the 2 perks and it make you that much better.
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm like trying. Yeah, it's insane. So if you get the chance,
I thought about dabbling. So like Marvel Rivals got me wanting to kind of check out Overwatch again.
Yeah,
so I've been thinking about it.
Check it out because there's like a diva, like her perk is like her rockets grow bigger in size and they got more damage whenever you shoot them. So that's like one of her perks, and they got different perks for all these. And I've been playing all these new heroes too. So I'm like, let me double into Overwatch, man, because that's why I've been playing Marvel. I was like, you know what? Let me just kind of
the OG. You want to go back to the OG?
Go back to the OG, man. See how I feel, man. So
I hit plat rank, and then that's about as high as I've gotten in Marvel Rivals.
I'm still at like silver, so trying to grind, man. Trying to grind.
You're on that grind, bro.
I know, man. I know. But hey, God, that'll do it for us. Glad to be back with my homie Paul. It's been a while. We've been missing our little chats talking about sports.
Be back, baby.
So, but thanks for listening, guys. Speaking for Mr. Paul Mack, it's Cortez Paul, Ball on Court Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, take care.
Peace.